Welcome to The Flaw in Everything, Gödel's proof that broke reality. Today we're talking about a crack in the crystal. For centuries, we viewed mathematics as the one perfect thing humans had ever touched. A pristine, logical universe where every statement was either true or false, and every truth could, in theory, be proven. It was a beautiful, comforting idea, a fortress of certainty in a messy world. But in 1931, a quiet Austrian logician named Kurt Gödel took a sledgehammer to that fortress. And what he showed us wasn't just about math, it was about everything. It was about art, science, compassion, and even the very meaning of what we do. The day the music died, for math. So picture the scene, the early 20th century. Mathematicians were on a quest to build a perfect, complete foundation for all of mathematics. The goal was to create a system where you could prove every true statement, starting from a few basic axioms. Simple, right? Then came Kurt Gödel. With his two incompleteness theorems, he proved something staggering. He essentially showed that for any formal logical system complex enough to do basic arithmetic, two things are true. The system will always contain statements that are true, but cannot be proven within that system. Think of it like a perfectly logical machine that can spot a truth, but its own rules prevent it from ever reaching it. It's a ghost in the machine. The system cannot prove its own consistency. You can't use the rules of the game to prove that the rules of the game are sound. You have to take a leap of faith. This was a bombshell. Goedel proved that mathematics, the very emblem of certainty, was destined to be forever incomplete. There would always be truths beyond its reach. The pristine crystal of math had an unfixable flaw: the ripples of incompleteness. Now, you might be thinking, okay, a neat paradox for mathematicians, but what does that have to do with me? Well, everything. Gödel's discovery echoes through almost every field of human endeavor. Take science. We build models of the universe, from quantum mechanics to general relativity. These models are incredibly powerful, but they are just that: models. They are formal systems designed to explain reality. And just like Gödel's mathematical systems, they are inherently incomplete. They can't capture the entirety of the universe. There will always be phenomena that our current models can't explain, truths that lie just outside our equations. Science isn't a march toward a final, complete theory of everything. It's an endless process of refining an incomplete map. Think about art. Can you create a formula for a beautiful painting or a moving piece of music? Of course not. Art expresses those unprovable truths Gödel pointed to. It communicates feelings, ideas, and experiences that defy logical definition. A great novel reveals a profound truth about the human condition that you could never capture in a mathematical proof. Art thrives in the realm of the unprovable. This even extends to compassion services. Imagine trying to create a perfect, rule-based system for helping people in crisis. You could write a manual 1,000 pages long with a flowchart for every possible situation. But it would fail. Why? Because human suffering is unique and complex. True compassion requires stepping outside the system. It demands intuition, empathy, and the ability to connect with another person's unprovable subjective reality. You can't solve a human problem with a purely logical system, because the human being is not a purely logical system. And finally, spirituality. For millennia, spiritual traditions have spoken of truths that are known not through logic, but through faith, experience, or intuition. The concept of God or nirvana or universal consciousness, these are ideas that by definition exist outside any formal system we could devise to describe them. Gödel's theorems give us a logical language to understand this ancient wisdom. The ultimate reality will always be an unprovable truth to our finite logical minds. The ultimate meaning, it's the stance, not the topic. So if math is incomplete, science is just an imperfect model, and art speaks in unprovable truths, what are we left with? Is it all meaningless? Absolutely not. In fact, this is where we find the real meaning. Gödel's revelation forces us to make a profound shift. It teaches us that the ultimate meaning is not found in mastering a topic. We will never have a complete theory of everything, whether in physics, philosophy, or mathematics. The goal isn't to arrive at a final perfect answer and close the book. Meaning is found in the stance we take toward the topic. It's the stance of curiosity in science, knowing our models are incomplete but pushing their boundaries anyway. It's the stance of wonder in art, allowing ourselves to be moved by beauty we can't explain. It's the stance of humility and empathy and compassion, recognizing that no system can replace genuine human connection. It's the stance of faith and inquiry and spirituality, exploring the mystery without demanding a final proof. The point isn't to solve the puzzle. The point is the act of engaging with the puzzle. The meaning is in the study, not the solution. Gödel didn't destroy mathematics. He gave it infinite room to grow. He showed us that the horizon will always be expanding, that there will always be more to discover, more to question, and more to create. He reminded us that being human is not about finding certainty, but about how we choose to live with its beautiful, profound, and inescapable absence. Thanks for listening to The Flaw in Everything, Gödel's Proof That Broke Reality.